Formula One in Kuala Lumpur. This is one of my first big trips. It was very exciting. I watched F1 all the time on TV. And when I was younger, I mean, you had to get up early. It was on early morning because it was already the next day in whatever country they were racing. So I'd get up really early to watch these races, and eventually could get recording, and do those kind of things. But at first, I had to get up and watch it live. So it was great. Never could afford it though. I mean, it's an F1 race, just the tickets alone. If you check now what they cost, it's crazy money. And there's just demand, supply demand. So that's what figures out the pricing. So there was a race in Canada in Montreal. So you could go there, but the ticket and the travel and the hotels for that weekend is just astronomical pricing. And then America they started to race at the Indianapolis Speedway Formula One. So you could go there and do it, but same thing. I mean, it's just so many people want to see it, and hotel rooms, flights, just the whole thing was way out of reach. And then I was working in Asia, in the Philippines, and I'm always watching it on TV, and Kuala Lumpur, they're going to be racing there, it's on the schedule. And it probably had been before, but I, wasn't living there, so I didn't really pay any attention. So it's going to be Kuala Lumpur. I'm excited. I'm like, oh, wow. So I start checking out, and the price is like 1/3 of what it would be in North America. So that helps right away. And then, check flights. Not too bad. Not as much demand in those countries. It's mostly people fly in. The locals aren't going to go so much. So it's mostly tourists, or those expats working there or whatever. So yeah, the flights weren't high. The hotels weren't expensive. Tickets weren't expensive. I'm going. So I loaded up. I asked Pink Cat, can you go? And she could. And her daughter came. The son was in college, so he wasn't available to come, but the daughter was still in high school. So she just took the 3 or 4 days off. It was on a weekend anyway. So I think we went on a Thursday and came back on a Tuesday or something. We went for all 3 days. The way to do it, if you're going to do Asia, pretty much anything in Asia, is you can just rent a driver once you're there, and just rent them for the day, hire them for the day. When I was doing it, it's like $100 for the whole day. You get this guy, and that includes your gas, everything. So I just hire a private driver, pick me up at whatever hotel, and I get a hotel, down in the city. So it's, a nice hotel. I'm not going to get, a stay by the freeway hotel or anything. So I had a nice hotel downtown, I think a Somerset or something like that, or I think they had Park Lane too back then, which was like nice, comfortable. And yeah, I just start Googling, driver for the day, and I found a guy. Sometimes I find him just the guy that takes me from the airport to the hotel, hey, do you do it? And most of them do. They love to work for the full day. Then they know their day is figured out. And I wasn't just hiring for a day. I was hiring for all 3 days, right? I needed to go in and out of there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with Sunday being the crazy day. So we find this guy, nice guy, had a new car. And there's 3 of us, so I would sit in the front, and Tony and her daughter in the back, and we would roam around. So we did some tourist stuff, and I'm not going to say the name of the mall, right? But it's like Burajami or something like that, or Berjaya. And it's got arcade and the roller coasters. It's got a whole amusement park built into the mall, and great shopping, great deals there too. It's not high end. So Pink Cat loved that, and it was great for me. I just drink coffee and hang out, wait for, them to get done doing whatever they're doing. And we looked at the amusement park. It looked pretty fun. I don't think we did much. The daughter didn't have her brother with her, so she wasn't into doing too much. She just wanted to shop a bit with her mom. So we did that, and then we went out for the practice on Friday in F1. So, and the F1 track is quite far. Of course, it has to be because they need the room for the track. Plus, you need all the parking and everything. So, you're not going to find it down, in the city. If you watch Indy races, sometimes they set those up and they'll just race around downtown, which is, kind of nice. Cities without a track and get a race. But anyways, these are professional Formula One races. The Formula One, these are the best in the world at what they do. And so this track is huge. It's way out of town though. But this guy's, he's hired for the day, so he doesn't care. And, if gas gets, you always tell him, if we drive too much or it's too far or anything, if gas is a problem, just let me know, be fair, right? But he was all good with it. He's paying him in US dollars, so the money was good. And we go way out there for the practice, and it's easy on those days. It's on race day that it's going to be crowded, but on practice day, he could let us off nearby, and he parked nearby, and he'd just wait for you, okay, we'll be out 3 or 4 hours, give him a rough time when it's going to be over, and, just message him and he'd come pick you up. So we did the practice day, and our seats were good. They were right on the start-finish line, but not right. They were on the straightaway of the start-finish line, but we were near the cheaper end of it. But we see them come, you could see them behind us go down the back stretch, and then they come around that final corner, and then they head up for the start-finish. So we would see the beginning of the race and the end of the race. So I'm very happy with the seats. I've got a bit of video posted somewhere. I'll try to find it and post it as a short or something. So just watch for that. And then we get day one done, back into the city. Always do some more shopping because it's over in the afternoon, so you still got the night. So hit another mall. Lots and lots of malls in Kuala Lumpur. Great shopping, and the prices are really good too. Money goes far there. And then day two is going to be practice followed by qualifying. So longer day, and I'm still working at this time. I'm running my import business, set it up so I could run it from anywhere in the world, but I need good internet. So I got to work at night. My night, I start working around 9 o'clock at night, and I work till 2-3 in the morning every night back then, and then sleep. So breakfast would be from 7 till 10 or so, roughly, at these hotels. Free breakfast included always. Get the breakfast plan. Feeding, me and 2 other people, so it pays for itself. So I get off work like 3 in the morning, and I just would tell Pink Cat, just wake me up around 9:30. I get some sleep. And get up and do it again, right? Get out there, get the practice in, get the qualifying in the afternoon for this Formula One race, and then get back into the city. And when we were in the city, it was pretty cool. They had a simulator. And this is so long ago, there wasn't much video. I don't think there's any video. I'm not sure. Pink Cat had wandered off to do shopping on me. So, but anyways, they had you could drive the F1 car and get simulator F1 car, and it was like a Ferrari. It looked like one and everything. And so, yeah, it was F1 week in Kuala Lumpur. So anyways, and that we stumbled upon that just by accident at one of the malls. And I bought a couple Red Bull. I was a Red Bull fan. You were either Mercedes or Red Bull, and I was the Mercedes. The Red Bull fan. Mercedes ended up winning the race. Spoiler alert. They won every race back then. But yeah, the Red Bull was, I bought a couple of the, authentic cars or whatever. They're quite expensive, but they were big. They were like this big. I gave them to my nephew, got one, and I think I had one for a long time. Not sure whatever happened to it. So everything's going good. And now it's race day. I want to get there early for sure. So we leave early, and it's just traffic like you never saw traffic. Most people only go for the race. If they're busy and doing whatever, then that's all. They just come on Sunday for the big day, and it is a big day. They had a concert before the race, then they had the races. They have a practice session, a concert, a practice session, a race, and then another nighttime concert. So it's a big deal. We got there. We missed even some of the practice. That's how crazy it got. When I had picked up the tickets, they wanted all, they couldn't find my tickets. So I gave them my papers, and they took all that. And that also included all my flight information, all my stuff, and they never gave it back. And I never thought of it. So I lost all that stuff. Things that can happen when you travel. I ended up having to find like a print shop on the day we were leaving to get everything printed out again. Because at the airport, they're not going to let you in the airport back then in those countries without proof that you were actually flying somewhere. They didn't just let people just wander around the airports. So anyways, yeah, it was a bit of a disaster. But traffic was so crazy. And then we had said maybe we're going to do the concert. And then we were so tired, though it was such a long day and hot. We were like, no concert. And so I said, pick us up. And he said, okay, I'm out front. So I'm like, great, he's here. So we get out there, and it's just him. I'm like, where's the car? He's like, way down the road. You can't get anywhere near here. The police won't even let us come in here. So we have to walk to the car. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. Pink Cat and her daughter, the daughter especially, just, teenager. She's not into the hiking, but what can you do? So yeah, but the race was great. I'm pretty sure that Hamilton won, as he always did back then. And Petronas sponsored that team, and Petronas was a Kuala Lumpur company. And I never put 2 and 2 together. I met a bunch of people, guys it's a lot of guys go to F1, right? There's some ladies too, but it's like 90% guys. And I met some guys on one of the shuttle buses that was taking us around from the track to our seats and whatnot. Tracks like miles long, so you have to get buses. And they're from Texas. And I'm like, from Texas? what are you doing here? They're like, we work in the oil. They got oil offshore on Kuala Lumpur. So that's why Kuala Lumpur got some money. Anyways, that's my Kuala Lumpur F1 story. And if you ever get a chance, if they're still racing there, I don't follow it as much now. I've been busy traveling myself and doing things. But if they do still race there and you want to see a race, definitely go, somewhere where it's Thailand or Kuala Lumpur, just anywhere, in Asia that's got affordable prices, and make a holiday of it. You basically, instead of doing it back home, you get a free trip out of it for what it would cost you back home. Okay, Blue Hat Bucket List Traveler. Hope you're doing good. Another trip, different experience. My name's Gary Dean. I'm your Blue Hat Bucket List Traveler. I did 34 cruises in 43 months, saw the world by cruise ship, and in that same 43 months, I drove all 48 states and 10 provinces. So just did a lot of traveling. I'm now retired from the traveling. Actually, I'm on my last cruise, number 34 right now. I'm in Cape Town, South Africa, doing these videos. I came 2 days early, so I got 2 days to do this. I've been here before, so I already saw Cape Town, so I don't need to go out. And I'm going to go walk around, look around. But yeah, I've already done the tourist stuff here. This video, Kuala Lumpur for the MotoGP race. So I grew up watching the MotoGP. I had a little dirt bike, mini bike since I was a kid, right? 12 years old, I think I got my first little motorbike. And so I always been into motorcycles. And then as I got older, I got a street bike. I, could roam around, and once drove Vancouver to Vegas. So that was my longest road trip down through California, and then over into Nevada to Las Vegas and back. So a long trip on a motorcycle, pretty much right during the day. So that takes 3 days at doing 8 hours, and then a couple hours. It's a long way down there, and you're biking, so you're going relaxing. Anyways, so always love motorcycles and love watching the MotoGP on TV, and never thought I'd ever get to one. If you saw one of my other videos, I was in Kuala Lumpur for the F1 race. And when I was there, they were talking about the Kuala Lumpur MotoGP race. I was like, really? You guys get the motorcycles racing here? And they're like, yeah, it's great. And I ended up, so I'm like, really? You guys have MotoGP races here? And they're like, oh, yeah, they're fantastic. So I right away booked tickets